Click, click. Hello everyone, this is Take from bigheadtaco.com, and I'm coming to you here from the Iona Beach Regional Park in Richmond. It's basically where the Vancouver International Airport is, and I have with me Camera Girl. I don't know, does Camera Girl want to come in just for a second? This is like she doesn't
say hi.
She doesn't come on the videos very often, but there's Camera Girl. Thank you for starting the shutter, and she's gonna keep an eye on the video to make sure that it's continuing recording. But I kind of dragged her out here to do this video on the GF23 f4 RLM WR lens. For those of you who know how Fuji names their lenses, the R means that it has an aperture ring, the LM is the linear motor that they use, and the WR is weather resistant. But it's also kind of rugged as well. And so this 23mm ultra wide lens works out to be an 18mm equivalent in the 35mm, and that's because the crop factor between a 35mm or full frame sensor to the digital medium format is 0.79, so you basically times 0.79 by the 23 and you get basically an 18mm. Now, I was a little bit surprised that Fujifilm decided to go 18mm because even the XF14 f2.8 lens they have for the X series and the WCL X70 wide angle converter for the X70 camera, those both go to a 21mm equivalent, and that is a very common. Even Leica has a prime 21mm lens. So 21mm seems to be kind of like it's been the standard for a very long time. They're going 18mm on a full frame equivalent. And that is kind of unusual until I started thinking about the lenses that they currently have. So there are going to be 6 total lenses for the GF lenses for this year, and the closest focal length to this lens is the 32 to 64 zoom, f4 zoom, which is a beautiful lens, and that is basically a 24 to 50 or 24 to 48 equivalent. So you're going from 24. And then if the prime lens was a 21, I'm thinking Fuji thought it's a little bit too close in focal length. So they went from 24 on that zoom down to 18. And with the fewest amount of lenses, I think they're kind of trying to get the most bang for their buck for the 6 lenses. So that's basically, in terms of equivalency, you're gonna get 18, a 24 to 50, you're gonna get a 35 prime, you're gonna get a 50 prime, and then you have the 110, which is I think 80, 85, and then the 120, which is like a 95. So that's the focal range from 18 to 95. And for the first 6 lenses, I think that's a pretty good selection for Fujifilm to have chosen. So this focal length, I am not used to shooting 18mm prime lens. It is kind of again, as I said, an unusual prime. It is quite big and heavy. I did not expect it to be as big or as heavy. It is an 82 millimeter front filter thread, and so just as a comparison, the 32 to 64 zoom f4 lens, I thought that was big and heavy. Well, that lens has I think it's a 77 or 72 mil filter. This is 82. So this, in terms of the front element diameter, is bigger than the 32 to 64. And in terms of length, that lens is a little bit longer. In terms of weight, this is only like 50 grams lighter than that zoom. So I thought that zoom was heavy. Well, this is a prime, and it's almost as heavy. And just for fun, I compared the weight. You can get an XF 16 to 55 f2.8 and the new, I think the 23 f2 or the 35 f2 combined, and that's about the weight of this one prime lens. But of course, you do have a much larger sensor, and that's where the extra weight is, as well as a very complicated 15 elements in 12 group design. All the lenses for the GF series, they're all 9 circular rounded blade aperture rings, and this has 2 aspherical elements, 2 ED elements, and then 2 low dispersion elements, and 1 super ED. So it's a very complicated lens design, but in the end, what does it all mean? Well, it means that this is a very high quality, high optics lens for architectural and landscape type photography. And I did, and that's kind of why I'm here at this park, because I did shoot here a couple times at night to try to shoot landscape. I'm not much of a landscape photographer anymore. I used to be when I was younger, but having a lens like this, it is basically begging for landscape type pictures, sunset pictures, architecture pictures of buildings. So I did all that. Building pictures I'm more used to. I just got back from Hong Kong, and as you know, I love doing building architectural images. So I did shoot that with this. I also did try using this for street photography, because why not? Street photography starts the moment you leave the house, and pretty much wherever you are in a city or an urban environment, you could take pictures, right? So I did try that, as well as shooting portraiture, which seems insane to use an 18mm equivalent lens for portraiture. But you have to remember, first of all, you have to get very close to your subject if you want to shoot portraiture with this, or else the first thing people look at a lens like this, any ultra wide, and they think, oh, everything looks small. And that is someone who doesn't know how to use a lens, that's how they see it. But the thing is, it means you can get very close to your subject, and from that perspective, it makes the surroundings look like they're wrapping around the subject. And so I'll post an image, maybe like right now. Here I did a portrait of both TJ from the shop, as well as my friend Richard, who lives in Chinatown. And both of them, I made sure I got really close, and you get that really weird, like indoor portraiture will probably look great as long as the indoor is interesting. And so that's what I did with this lens, as well as I did some street photography, some shadow pictures and stuff. And you have to get reasonably close to your subject, or the background has to be interesting. And so I tried this doing multiple styles of photography. You have to remember, with an ultra wide angle lens, you don't have to shoot stop down too much, because something this wide, probably after about 8 feet, everything will be in relative focus, right? So if you stop down to f8 even, almost everything from 8 to 10 feet to infinity will be sharp. So I rarely stop down to f16 or f22. At times I did, but in general, the reason why I would do that is on the sunset pictures, it affects the flare that you get in the lens. And you can actually see the round aperture plate. So depending on how distinct I wanted the flare, or how more dispersed I wanted it, that's kind of why I use the aperture ring. So this is just a very quick review, not a long-term review, because this is not a super versatile lens. It's very specific to probably landscape and architectural. But if you're crazy like me, you're gonna do portraiture and street work with it. But obviously, I've shown that you can pull it off. Just as a quick side note, I am using the Fujifilm X100F to shoot this video. So thank you, camera girl, again for shooting this with me. So just to show you that the X100F on a tripod, manually focusing to this distance using the back focus button, this camera is capable. And I also have the Rode Video Micro on top, but I do need the adapter to go from 2.5mm the native the plug-in to the 3.5mm jack on the Video Micro from Rode. But other than that, it's a fantastic camera, the X100F. That's probably more classically what people would use as an all-day camera, as a very versatile camera. But this here is a monster. I'm gonna do more of a long-term review eventually on the GFX 50S. I have the 110 f2 coming, and as well the GF 45mm, which is a 35mm equivalent, coming as well. So once I test all the lenses, then I'll do a final overview of this system. But so far, very impressed with it. So thanks for watching. Again, I'm coming to you here from Iona Beach Park. You may have heard the airplanes coming and going. Come down here. It's beautiful, especially early sunrise and sunset. And this time of the year, sunrise is probably 5 in the morning. Sunset's around 9 p.m. at night. Lots of photographers out here. Lots of birders with long telephoto lenses. So it's a great place to come down to shoot. But I'm leaving now. The lighting is a little bit contrasty, so I picked a bad time of day to come down here. But camera girl, this was the time she had for me. So, oh, and one more thing. Please go samurai on the like button. You have to like, especially for camera girl's sake. Like the video for camera girl, and don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends. And that's it. Thanks for watching again, and happy shooting.